Hi, it's Victor here from Trend Following Trading for Beginner Podcast. I'm back again. In today's episode, I would like to talk about what trend following system is basically and how I got started. In general, trend following is basically a mathematical model of trend following strategy, which trying to find the market up and down trend and then try to profit from it. And it's basically a ecosystem on its own. It has rules and tells you when to buy, when to sell, how much to buy, how much to sell, that sort of thing. And it's a form of technical analysis. But what makes it different is rather than the usual technical analysis, like you're looking at the charts and looking at how patterns form, and then when certain patterns happens, you get predict what happened next, so to speak. So if pattern A happens, then it's likely patterns B will happen. But this form of technical analysis that we use for trend following, because it's mathematical based, all we do is plug in the numbers in some mathematical equations, and then at the end of the equation you come up with a number, and depends on this number, then it depends on your rules, you either buy or sell, open a buy or sell trade in the market, and that's it. So there's no prediction here. So all we basically here, trend following is basically very much a response system. It responds to things. So if the price said after mathematical calculation said it's a buy, then it would just buy. And me as a human being, and basically just follow the rules. So just go and open a buy trade. So relatively straightforward. So the good thing with that is it's not news driven. So like a couple of days ago, the US Fed cut the interest rate by 25 basis points, or Donald Trump tweet and say add another 10% of tariffs on the remaining 300 billion Chinese import into US. That created a lot of turmoil in the stock market, but I don't really look into those. I basically just say at the end of the day, what's the price, and then just put in plug in my calculation and make my decision based on the result. So it cut out a lot of emotion, a lot of news, and also it freed me up because I only look at end of day trading value price, and I don't have to look at the market all the time. And this system works both in up and down markets, and it can apply to stock, index, Bitcoin, soft metals, anything. So for example, recently I've been using this, I've been using for quite some time, also on Bitcoin, and make some decision and buy and sell. At the moment I'm buying it, and you can see it on my website. Basically, I mean, the trend following system basically very much proven strategy. It's been there for a long time. Back in the 80s, people have been using something called the turtle traders has been doing that. But even then, there was a trend following system back and forth throughout the ages, and there's nothing new of the system. It's just people doing it differently from different places. That's all. So it's relatively an old thinking. But what makes it different is it doesn't predict. It is relatively just reactive, and really depends on what type of signal you actually put in. You can even use it for a day trading situation or intraday signal, so long as you put in, let's say, the hourly chart or 30 minutes chart or something. But that misses out the whole point about trend following. Trend following is try to catch big waves, and in order to make big money out of the market. And my belief is day trading is not really there to make big money. It's very much like chicken, poking at the floor, looking at a little bit of rice or animals or insect to eat. I mean, the chicken get food out, fair enough, but it's never a big meal. It never. But as trend following goes, it's very different. We try to find the great big meal, the great big trend, and profit from it. So it's very much like a big snake have a meal once in a while, and every time the meal will be really, really big, and that's what we try to do. Also, because it's a long-term system, you can free yourself up to do your normal day job. So for me, for example, how I got started is once I found this system basically allowed me to continue to do my day job. I got a 9 to 5 job. I'm a software contractor. I'm very busy life. I also a father of 4 children, and also do buy-to-let, which is renting out houses, and also try to break into service apartment as well. So in my daytime, I'm very busy, but I am believer of multiple income streams. So one of my income streams is from trading in shares, and I track about 50 different markets. They're ranging from shares, index, forex, soft, Bitcoin, metals, and so forth. And I track about 50 of those, and then I would spend no more than an hour, maximum 2 hours per evening, and basically just look at what needs to be done and so forth. So it's relatively straightforward, and I make decisions based on that and then. So that is what I do. And just to talk a bit about how I started, I mean, like everybody else, when I first started, I was looking to make some money on the side. I read newspaper, follow the financial pages, and try to, take the recommendation, whatever the newspapers say, and buy and sell those shares. Sometimes small caps, sometimes large caps. But a lot of times I got burned and I lost a lot of money out of that. Then next I try to buy newsletters, which basically tells you when to buy, when to sell, but on a monthly basis. And I can promise I can never we do what they do. Basically tell me by a certain time. I always gone into the price is very different from what they say in the newsletter, and my returns never as good. And in fact, I lost a bit of money on that, but less, but still losing money. So it's not making much headway. So the next things I do is I go on internet, chat rooms, read a lot of books, and so on. Just like everybody, we try to find a way through learning to trade. And I was miserable. I was losing a lot of money. But through my my investigation, I found there's a system called moving average crossover, and one that I really like is the one called 50 days over 200 days moving average crossover systems. So effectively, you take 50 days, so it's 50 trading days of closing price of a certain, let's say, Apple share price, and divide that by 50 and get an average price, and then plot a graph against it, and then move on the next 50 days again, take the average of it, and plot a curve about it. And similar things, I do that for 200 days. And so when those two curves is plotted, and when the price go above both of these curves, I go and buy. When it go below these two curves, when the price go below these two curves, I sell. So relatively simple. It's slightly different from what the internet people in the internet or chat room talks about, but it's very straightforward. And I use that to my advantage and bought and sell shares based on that, using something called the individual saving account in UK, which is a tax-free vehicle, but they limit how much money you put in. So when I first started, it was like £3,000 or something. So relatively small account, and I make some money out of it. So that's really good. But then everybody else, I was looking for the holy grail, so I took my money out and tried to do spread betting or contract for difference and lose tons of more money. And then throughout my journey, I go back and think, always thinking I somehow I just feel I can do it, and go back to look at my past trade and find, what I have got, this crossover system, 50 days over 20 days moving average, is working. But I just, I wasn't interested in it at the time because I was looking for quick money, trying to make a quick buck very, very quickly. So what I learned then is that apparently that is a type of a trend following system, because one of the characteristic of trend following system is that you never go in at the bottom and you never get at the top. So you always take the middle bit of the trend, so to speak, to make money that way. So I didn't know that. And then I came to this book called Trend Following by Michael Covell. The 5th edition is the best one to get. And that really opened my eyes, and I just basically continue self-learn and continue using it. But all the time I'm still failing quite a lot, mostly, not making much profit. But the main things is what I did not understand that it's not just about the system as well. It's about trusting the systems. So what I've done is, because I'm a software programmer, I put my crossover system into some script, TCL script, and basically wrote some programs on my laptop and take whatever I got a software package, share chatting software package, which is basically called ShareScope. And I basically took the last 10, 15 years data from the chatting package, output it into a spreadsheet, and then run my script against it, and then got quite a bit of result of it, and then look at the actual result every day. And I found a lot of the shares I've been looking, index, whatever, they all making money. The only problem is I wasn't sticking to the system, so that's why one of the reasons I lost lots of money as well. So over the last 2 years, when I at least reduce a lot of my losses and start beginning to be more profitable, is that I follow my system, because that only happens when I look through my test result, so to speak, back test result, when I run through my script against the daily charts data, and slowly I realize I've got something here and actually follow it. So the trend following system is relatively straightforward, but which I will talk a lot more later on about mindset in different episodes, is that you don't have the mindset to follow it. No matter what system you have, you will still fail. So that's one thing I found in trend following. So what it also fit me well is that I said before, I'm a very busy man. I really don't have time to look at the market all the time. I may dabble around and look at my phone during the day when I got free time and track the market a bit. But you asked me to look at the market for half an hour in front of the computer screen. First of all, I don't have the time. Secondly, I don't think it's a good idea. It just doesn't fit my lifestyle. But this trend following system using end of day data is my calling. Basically, it fits my lifestyle, and it does provide quite good return nowadays. Not a lot, like 5 to 10% at the moment, but I know once I crank it up, it will be really good. The other thing I also found is trend following system. Not many people out there also talked about it as well. Is they talk about system, they talk about mindset, they talk about risk management, but they don't really talk about pyramiding. That is when you're in a trade that's making money for you. At a certain point, you want to top up a bit more, and then top up another time up to a maximum of 5. I've done some tests on that. That's 5 is the best. So including your original trade plus 4 more top-ups. But not many people talks about that. So using this pyramid strategy from a small account, let's say £5,000 account, you can very quickly make quite a lot of money, providing you catch a trend. But the problem is the trend doesn't happen every day. It happens 2 or 3 times throughout the year, and you don't know where to actually find those. So one of the things you need to learn as a trend follower is be patient and follow the trend, and basically do it every day. And because you're in the market, you're trading, following what the trend following system said, you will catch one of those trends, even though it's very far away trend. But when it happens, when you catch the big trend, then you pyramid up, and then you at the end, when the trend finishes, you find yourself instead of buying one lot of shares or index, whatever, trading, because you follow the pyramiding system, you have in together 5 lots. Basically, your result boosts by 5 times. So this is how a lot of trend followers make big money in big trend, because they latch on. For example, I'm just looking at the Bitcoin. I'm looking at it all the time, every day. I went in the market, the trade Bitcoin about 4,000 US dollars. That is about March time, and it's been there for a long time, around $3,000 kind of thing. And the trend following system I have, which is not the 50 days, 200-day moving crossover, it's another trend following system I use, actually latch on and able to get on the trend, and it's still in. So like for the last 6 months, I'm actually on this trend, and about 4 or 5 months, and still making quite a bit of money. So more or less I've doubled my money from about 4,000 recently it was like 12,000, or 3 times the money. So that is one of the as examples of how trend following can do. It catches a big trend, and recently the trend is a bit volatile. but my systems still say stay on. So until my systems tell me to get out, I won't be getting out. And this one, for example, is like 4 or 5 months trend and making loads of money. And those are the quite typical trend following system signals that you might get for good trends. Some of the trends I've seen the paper trading myself, last for 1.5 years, 2 years, something like that. I mean, if you use a very simple 200-day moving average trend following systems, and you look at Dow Jones, if you trade the index from perhaps 2008, 2009, up to recently, last year, 2018, the trend is more or less up, and you basically catch a trend for the last 9, 10 years, and that's the type of trend that could make you loads of money. And this is what is the benefit. That's what type of trend I'm talking about. Big long trend that could be multi-months or multi-years if the trend is really great, and for Dow Jones it is. So this is just give you a foretaste of what trend following is and how I got started. In the future episodes, I will break down a bit more on the trend following, the trading plan, the mindset, the type of things I think new trader need to know. Because one problem, the main reason I started this podcast is to tell you trading as it is, how I found it, without the BS, without the smoke screen, no smoke and mirror, just tell you the fact. I'm not going to catch your butt, so to speak, and tell you something nice. I'll just tell you how I found it, the problem I found it, how I get around my problems, and how I become at least relatively successful and able to help you, the new trader, to move in the next level, so to speak. So if you would like to learn a bit more of trend following to help you how to trade, then please subscribe to my podcast, and also in the description there's a link for a 15 minutes free chat with me. Basically, I just ask for your name and your email address, and we've set up a Zoom call on the internet and just have a quick chit chat about what type of things you do trading wise, and how can I help you to improve yourself, so to speak. There will be no sales, no obligation to take anything from me whatsoever. I just want a quick chit chat to tell you what trend following is. You want to talk a bit more about it. So probably about 15-20 minutes. It's free of charge. All you need to do is just put your name in the link and email, and then click submit, and that's it basically. So hope to speak to some of you, and if you found, I say, this podcast a bit useful for you, I'd like to learn a bit more, please subscribe to the podcast, and I will speak to you soon. So thank you for listening, and bye for now.